What is good, guys? This is Charles from Team COG here, coming at you guys with a surprise profile. This is day 2 Infernobles from YCS Lillie, and I got myself here. I cannot pronounce his name properly, so I'll let him introduce himself. And yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself, my man.
Hello, guys. My name is Arsène Isandro. I'm French,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
we were talking about that, man. We're like, what better
yeah
than a French player to like go day 2 at a European YCS with Infernoble Knights?
yeah best deck ever made.
Best
Was
deck,
so
let's
much fun.
go.
Yeah, was so much fun to play. So let's jump
Yeah,
right
so
into it.
yeah, go ahead and explain. I got your deck list pulled up here, so you can go and explain your deck list. We have one Ash, which this is just the way Dueling Book has it like set up here. So we won't touch this, but I see you have the you have your uppercutter and the Battle of
Okay.
Doctor Spar.
Yeah. So the reasoning behind the strategy of mono and traps is like every card in your hand should be able to resolve. Um, because in the weakness of Infernable Knights, you have the first thing that Infernable Knights himself doesn't do anything. Like it's on the contrary of Snake Eye Ash that can do a one full combo. You need to have at least two or battling uppercutter to do your one combo. So that's why we wanted to optimize when we got the idea. And if you open like just one uppercutter and four entraps, and your opponents just veiler you, you're screwed. So we went to a strategy like you open uppercutter, an extender, and that's it. And the other cards are just cards that allow you to draw your outs or the extenders. Uh, So that's why we went for Mulchami main deck and Fantasme. Actually, Fantasme made me win the entire Snake Eyes with Custonin because when they summon Mascarena, you just put Fantasme on board and they can do really anything. You just normal summon Uppercutter and you do your combo and you break their boards and it's almost GG because how they will possibly out two Emperor Charles, one Garfield, one Fantasme on the field. It's impossible. It's impossible for them.
It's they have to literally have the perfect crackback to be able to
Exactly,
do it.
exactly. I faced day one five Snake Eyes. I won them all, one over them. There was one who almost won, and Custonin, he chose to battle with Flamberge on Custonin, and Custonin triggers effects, and I think he almost reached to
Yeah,
do.
yeah. We'll definitely get. Yeah, if you guys can't see, he has like the OG Noble Knights down here, but we'll get into those when we get to the extra
Yeah,
deck. To just to clarify for so I don't like I said I don't understand why Dueling Book does it this way, but so the strategy was uppercutter plus extender, and then the other thing was like crossout. If you see crossout, you literally have almost every hand trap in the list that hurts the one card combo protected
yes,
with crossout. So it was
oh
just like
yes.
pretty much a
The
Swiss
only
Army.
thing,
Crossout was a Swiss
yeah,
Army knife essentially. Okay.
yes, the only thing I was really worried was draw, because I thought everyone would main deck it, uh, and the strategy was like to normal summon a Uppercutter. Uh, if they don't have draw on resolution, it's GG. If they have, you have cross out to do your combo, and if you don't have cross out, I just summon Baluska fast and just slow down the pace game, slow down the game, so that it can profit my how I approach my gameplay with Custonin and the OG's Noble Knights on in the extra deck. And
Okay.
and I and like you see, I am playing mono entraps. I have no entraps that can't resolve because I Veiler, I draw, and after sometimes I'm forced to win because I have more resources. Actually, in the brain game, Infernoble is really good. I mean, it's almost like a Snake Eyes but with wire.
Yeah, like
And
people kind of underestimate or like have like
yeah,
let nobles go off the radar. That the fact that every end phase you're equipping cards with Charles. Almost every turn after you, sometimes turn one you're drawing a card with Malgus, and then during the opponent's
Yeah,
turn you're drawing another card with Malgus, and then during your turn you're drawing another card with Malgus while continually shuffling back resources, keep you in the
yeah,
game. The
and
only question I would have is, so I notice you're playing. So you not only are you, this is kind of like, normally I feel like people have taken the approach with the deck as either you, which is the kind of the approach I've kind of taken right now, is like uppercutter with a bunch of hand traps and like cross out to protect the uppercutter. But you're also playing a Dark Ruler No More as a board breaker, so I can
yeah,
only imagine
yes,
that that's for the flexibility of, if you know you're going second, that the
in,
Molcharmy and your
indeed,
Phantasme can dig you
totally.
into.
Totally, yeah. But as I'm not really lucky in dice rolls, I like to play some surprise breakboard like Dark World No More. Um, I wasn't making my mind between Evenly Match and Dark World No More, but Dark World No More was really efficient. Even when when they have the Fleet Desiree on board, because they say, yeah, they can negate Dark World no more, but in order to do that, they need to sacrifice one Omni Negate and one trap to trigger the Desiree. So it's really not worth it because they sacrifice two interruptions just for you, just for one card. Then you just do your normal combo. If you add just one extender, they are over. So
Okay.
yeah, a really good call. Really good call, Dark World no more.
I,
Zone.
I, as even like looking, dude, like I really enjoy your take with Phantasme, because like even worst case scenario with Phantasme, if you like rip into open, or even like Phantasme gets you into like Museum, Chalice, or Durandal, like you just equip, it puts a body on field turn 0 for you to be able to equip. And
Yeah,
then like you said earlier, you said like Phantasme's there to protect your uppercutter from like the
yeah,
targeting cards like
yeah,
Imperm, Valor, and stuff, which is just kind of like a really cool take.
yeah.
Um
But and it was a really a good thing to has it versus Snake Eyes. It's really a game changer. They are often, when you see Phantasme, you almost forgot that it can protect from targeting, and they often do like a princess in the graveyard. You discard an Infernoble level 4 in grave, and like you have like that, you have an extender. It's prevents you from breaking. It's really good.
that's actually yeah, dude, that I didn't think of like the full application of Phantasme. Like I guess, yeah, like almost any hand trap, you draw for turn for your 6 card just kind of sucks, but like that's just like that's kind of wild. So one question to bring up that
Yeah,
I know people will talk about. Well, first question is, did you test with the Flame Swordsman variant at all? Because I know a lot of the community has like kind of like that's like
yeah.
their favorite version,
I
even if it's not the best version. It's like for some reason that's their favorite version.
Um, so I will take of my approach of the Infernoble gameplay. It's just up to me. I don't blame others from trying face first, but it breaks so often. Every time, like for an event that requires 9 rounds, you break 4 times. It's too much. It's too
It is.
much.
You're yep. And that's something that I guess for anyone watching this who's an Infernoble fan or just trying to decide, like the fact that uppercutter, and like in today's format, you need to have a 1 card combo because you need that
Yeah,
extra card to either be a disruption or a defensive card or an extender. And just you wouldn't really think about it, right? You'd think like, oh well, you need that one extender or that 1 card needed to full combo. Ain't that like tremendous? But it really is when it comes into like the boards that exist or like the hand traps that exist, man. You need that extender, that extra card in hand, just to play through or to like keep your opponent at bay.
yeah. But
Um,
the things I would argue is that Flame Swordsman allow you to make an OTK really easily compared to my version. Like my version can't really OTK, or it's like you have a really godly end. However, my version is very stable. I didn't break once during all tournaments, and that's all I was asking. No breaks, simple is best. That's how I approach things. Simple is best. You don't need to have a fancy loop to win. You just need one that works. And mine is uppercutter, normal summon, effects.
I think Bruce Lee once said it. I do not fear the man who knows 1,000 moves, but the man who's practiced the same move 1,000 times, and that's wise
Yeah,
words for
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
yeah,
exactly
indeed,
fits here.
indeed. Yeah, yeah. It's you.
So I guess the second question is that people ask is, so what was your reasoning behind not playing the wanted package? Was it
Oh,
just to fit in more hand trap space? Because I know we can't. I think there's no debate that the witch and wanted is very powerful extenders, but I would like to
oh,
hear your reasoning for not playing it.
okay. There are two reasons for not playing Wanted. In this particular format, which is an in-between format, I'd say. The first one is like everyone or almost everyone knows what Wanted do, and it's like if you don't know Infernobles, like every players I faced, they don't know where to put entraps. If you put Wanted Seeker, they know you need to hash it. They know that
Yeah,
um, the Dark Witch will come, and they know they need to Valor it to in order to stop the combo. It's too telegraphed. When you normal
that's
summon
oh
Ogier, they are like, what does it do? I foolish Noble Arm or I foolish Fire Warrior. Oh, okay. I don't know where that is going. Just go. And they see Angelica, and on the triggers effect to add, they every time they drop Valor on it. Every time.
that's very interesting because today while I was sitting at work, man, I was thinking too. I was like about the wanted package. I was like, man, sometimes like I want to hold wanted till after they hit me with a hand trap, so they don't know that I have it. Because once they, like you said, once they know you have it, they
Yeah.
know even if they don't know what the deck does, they know like, well, I know what the wanted package does, so like I should hand trap here versus here. And I was thinking about that today. I was like, because normally the want players who play the wanted package are geared to fire it off in the draw phase, so you don't lose, so you don't trigger draw.
Yeah.
But I found in my testing where I fire it off that once they know I have it, they'll be like, well, you normal summon this, but you have the wanted, so I'm going to hold my hand trap, my one ash for the, OSS. Whereas if they didn't know you had it and you normal summoned, they just fire their first hand trap because they don't know what the deck does. And they just seem like, oh, this seems like a normal summon ad, sounds like a good ash target.
Yeah. Totally.
So, yeah, that totally, okay. And that's it. So, is there anything you would change in the main deck?
Not in the main deck. In my opinions, my main deck is really perfect. The way I play Infernoble, like for someone else, maybe it wouldn't fit their gameplay,
Yep.
but for me, it's really perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. It was a really good call, and I never once said to myself, "Oh, I need a second Ash Blossom, or I need a second Valor." Every time it was really spot on. I just didn't brick. It
That's
was
yeah,
really
that's awesome. That is like that's truly awesome. You're playing a straight 40, which is nice, which gives you like consistency.
and
And yeah, like so did you ever have a conflict with playing 3 museum and then the 2
no, no,
no?
I never drew. Oh, yes, yes. One time I drew two museum, Almas and Mont Randall, and but I had Phantasme, so it was summoning Requiem. I summoned Phantasme. I put I put Almas in the deck, and
Okay.
even if I didn't have Phantasme N in this game, it was not a brick. My six was Dark World No More, so I could still play. I could still play. So
That's
uh,
I truly, this is like a really unique approach that I'm really I'm kind of like a lost at words. Like I see the science and the math behind it. Like there's like a few things like OCD wise that like I would do with like I would want to play 3 Phantasme just because I hate 2 ofs. I'm like a 1 or 3 type of guy. But for the most part, I see your
yeah,
logic behind it in the deck building.
I was
And I
also on the free Phantasme. I had an argument with my friend, and he say two Phantasme, one Magnamut, and one Driss Room for the versatility. Like
oh, that's right,
like,
because Magnamut
because
searches. Okay.
yes, because like I was really prepared for Snake Eyes Finsmith because I knew people would still play this deck, and like when they go for the Finsmith combo, you summon Magnamut. In the end phase, you add Phantasme. If they trigger Masquerade during long turn, you just summon Fantasme, and then Fantasme give you the protection you need, and you're almost ready to roll on the center.
Oh,
You see,
that's
or if you are in another matchup, you add the Drift Room in end phase instead.
That's right. I forgot that it's if your opponent links special, so it can be that turns their rage or their IP that turn into SP allows.
It,
Because I was thinking like dang Phantasm would kind of be dead in your hand, right?
and
So during your turn, but essentially since so many cards, so many decks, the main decks right now are ending on the ability to tag out. Like that's actually kind of crazy. And you dig and dude, I see it now. I see the math and the science behind it. But I don't want to keep too many people here. Let's go ahead and move on to your side deck real quick. Unless there's anything
yeah.
else you wanted to explain further in the main deck.
I just wanted to say that for the people who said like if you are first and you have Dark World Normal in ends, it's a break. It's not a break actually because as I don't want to make an unbreakable board. I just want to make the best board possible. And my game plan is to end with 2 shards, 1 Gear Freed, and like 1 interruption in end. They can come back with 1 or 2 negation. If you have Dark Lord no more in hand, you just Dark Lord no more them, and you rebuild the board again and again, and you have the game. Just by playing slowly.
Yeah, this Dark Ruler No More. I feel like I know people be like, well, if you go first, it's a dead card in your hand. But like, truly, most of the hand traps in your hand are dead cards in your hand. It's in the same aspect, right? Like, yeah, they have more interaction during your opponent's turn, but since you're building an unbreakable board turn one, that the hand traps are just extra, addition to it.
Yes.
So Dark Ruler is just there because the dice roll is the one thing in the game that we cannot be guaranteed on. So it just gives the flexibility. I truly understand that, but. So your side deck, man, one thing I do notice that's kind of a conventional take is the Gamma Seal. I know game's in the name, but go ahead and explain us your side deck real quick and some of your reasoning.
I think I don't need to explain why I play Angelica's Rings and Roland. For the FTK, it's an FTK.
Yep, the Roland and the ring. Yep.
Yeah, it's FTK. The free Gamisiel of Towers deck, purely, it's one of the hardest matchup, I think. So you just Gamisiel the Black Cat and you just go on with your thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Simple, and the others are 2 Lightning Storm, 3 Dimensional Barrier, and 3 Evenly Match.
Yeah, we saw at YCS Lillie why evenly match is just like kind of crazy. Yeah. Poor Yassine got like cooked by this card. But the D barrier, I think that's also self-explanatory. If you go first, you side it in, you call whatever you're playing against, and then of course, so I like the take on the double Lightning Storm and the Cosmics. But what were you trying to hit with the Cosmic? Was it for the Tempai? Was it for the Nightmare Pains?
I thought I would face alongside Snake Eyes. I thought I would a lot of Runic players, a lot of Whitewood Runics. So I wanted to have a lot of backroom movers, and actually I didn't face any. I just faced 1 Labyrinth in day 2, and that's all.
Okay.
So it's one of the things I would have changed if I knew how it would went. I would change the Lightning Storm for Shifter.
To have an additional crossout?
Yes. Because I got Shifter every time I faced a Ritual Beast. It was really annoying.
Then it's Ritual Beast. As soon as we get Shifter, dude, it's Plan Baguska.
Plan
B.
Yes.
Plan Baguska.
Yeah.
So I think that everything in the side deck's pretty explanatory. Now let's move on to the extra where this is what I'm excited for, man. Like I think, you play the standard Infernoble stuff, which if you're an Infernoble player, you play the standard 2 Charles, 1 Angelica, 1 Roland, the Emperor, the Synchro, the Baguska for when you get shifted or droll and you can't play through it, SP because it's a warrior, Promethean because you're fire, here's what I want to talk about is the Arthur, the 2 Arthurs, the Custonin, and the Utopia, and I want you to explain those to me.
Okay, so the Utopia is, I would say, a tech card in case I was facing Tempai Dragons, because a lot of people know Utopia for the Xyz overlay. You go Xyz and then you detach 2 and you go into battle, but number 39 has another effect. If there is an attack, you can detach and negate the attack. So that is pretty good against Tempai.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Yeah.
uh, for the OGs Global Knight packages, I think for the people who don't main or who don't use them in the Alpha deck, it's a mistake.
Okay. Can you
Because
elaborate on that? So you're
yeah,
saying that
yeah,
if we're not utilizing Custonin,
yeah.
Artorigus, and the
Um,
other Artorigus, so okay, yeah,
y-
explain to us,
okay.
explain to
I
me and us, the viewers here.
just a bit nuance. You are not forced to play the two Artorigus, just the X5. But for more versatility, I was playing the 4-1. Two.
Okay, so you could get away with just playing the rank
Yes,
5 and the
just
Custonin.
one.
Okay.
Yes, just one Costalin and one Artorigus 5, and you're ready to go. So why it is a mistake to not use them? So in my strategy,
Oh, one.
if I 1 second and I Dark Ruler no you
Oh,
have
oh, 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 yep, we timed out.
yeah, you take that.
Darn. Okay. We'll
um,
cut. We'll cut to that here in a second.
Hmm.
That's. I didn't even think about that. So that's my deck list.
Seconds.
Yep. I think
Generally
I'll have to.
speaking, generally speaking, you have troubles with Infernoble for overtaking the opponents if he has
Oh,
a big board.
yeah.
Yeah,
See, this is the
perfect.
original list. Okay, so I
Well,
gotta go back in here and put these
oh,
in for museums. I
oh,
didn't save it
yeah,
because I just changed. I didn't think it would
yeah,
time out since
no,
we were actively.
okay, no worries.
So then we play 3 museum, and then you said Utopia was the last one.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So
Perfect.
3. Yeah. So 3, 2, 1. Okay. So go ahead and explain
Okay.
why you should be playing both these.
Okay. So when your opponent plays an unbreakable board like Super, Fist, if you have no interruptions except for mine, I have the Dark Lord no more. You have trouble attacking the opponents. So what is my game plan is to end with Emperor Charles, Flame Swordsman Link, and Custonin in defense mode. With Custonin, you detach two things on their board. Then your opponent has two choices: get rid of Flame Swordsman and Custonin plus one spell or trap negate, or destroy them by going to battle. And what is interesting is like when they get destroyed, they have triggers effects once to summon the Artorigus OG, and the others to reborn fire wire monsters except a weak one. So what you do, generally speaking, if they manage to out Charles, you just reborn Charles Emperor the Synchro one, and
Yep.
with Custonin, you summon Artorigus in defense, and you equip it with Durandal and Almace. If even after that they manage to get rid of Artorigus triggers in Chainlink 1, Durandal 2, and Almas 3. So you reborn anything. You can even reborn Richard to have two more bodies on your field. Almas to keep going on the grind game. And Artorigus will trigger to resummon another warrior, another noble knight from the graveyard, and it doesn't end. They can't OTK you, and you have so much resources in hand and on board that you will automatically on turn 3 end their board. And that's why I think it's a mistake, because I think people right now are playing the game really fast. They want to win really fast, but I don't think it's how Infernoble is supposed to play right now, as we don't have Isolde to make every combos super efficient. You need
Okay.
to have another way of playing, uh, another another game plan. And
So just to clarify,
yes,
what you're saying is when this package really shines when you're going second into
yes,
an opponent's board
yes,
because you have the
yes,
ability to force negations and force stuff with custom by bouncing stuff. And if they happen to destroy, because negate and destroy the custom, he
yeah,
floats into the Artorigus, which
yeah,
then allows you to detach and then destroy up to 2 more cards. And then if they
Yes.
out Artorgus, you can reborn the original Charles
Yes.
from the graveyard. Okay. And then, of course, you said, like, the Ferocious Flame Swordsman will boost everything's attack.
Yes. 500 more for
Okay.
every card, plus 500 from Museum.
Museum. Boosting Charles. I don't think Museum's Fire Warrior, so it's not boosting these
No,
guys.
no,
But,
no, it doesn't.
so then, also, I get what you're saying is, like, if you end on Emperor Charles, the Flame Swordsman, and Custonin, when it comes to the opponent's next turn and they try to clap back on you, you have such a high resource gain because Custonin can float into Artorgus. Artorgus can then float into something else, and then the Ferocious Flame Swordsman can float into something. Okay.
Yeah, and then Durandal will trigger, Almas will trigger.
To keep the... Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you have so much resources that it doesn't really end. They need to have... I mean, if you're playing with the Snake Eyes, they need to have, like, to spend the effect of Flamberge plus 3 attacks. And even with that, they can't out everything.
I see. Okay. I see what... And just for you viewers to know, too, is that Infernobles have, like, people kind of think we don't have a crazy grind game, but like we said earlier in the video, Malgus continually shuffles back, but you also got to remember that Renault adds back your Synchros, your extra deck monsters back to the extra deck.
Yes.
Joyous and Almas also do the same thing. So, like, when you start playing this deck, you'll start to understand and you'll see lines where you need to add back, like, those key extra deck cards in a grind game to keep the game going, and then, of course, you keep these type of cards are continuing in loop because of Malgus being able to put these cards back into the deck to draw and resummon to add back, etc.
Yeah.
So just for you viewers. Okay, so I see the logic there. That's actually really interesting. Yeah, so I get it. It's good. And I guess, arguably, would you consider maybe if you know you're playing against Timpai, you would... Well, no, I guess... When we play against Timpai, when we know we're playing against him, we know we're going first. We're trying to set the stones with like double Charles, Gearfried, Angel Ring, just trying to shut them out completely. But would you say that what matchup would you see yourself going into putting up the Emperor Charles with the Custonin and the Ferocious Flame Swordsman? Like, what particular matchup or scenario would you make that?
It's also matchups that needs to be graded. So Snake Eyes, Yubel. And I would say those two are particular because rock decks, the rock decks is often really quick games. Either you bricks or either it's unbreakable boards, unbreakable spell trap boards. So you don't see them on these scenarios. It's especially games that needs to be grinded. And often Snake Eyes has a good grind game, but I think Infernoble on that particular thing is better. It's harder, but when you master the deck, you never lack resources.
Yeah, you're absolutely... And sometimes, man, I've caught myself being overwhelmed with resources because you're just like, oh, I can do so much because you've put everything back. You have different routes and avenues to take, but... Okay, so that's awesome, and I actually really enjoy this. I don't think we've seen in modern Infernoble decks, playing the OG Noble Knights. Ever since, I think, like I said, was telling you before we started recording, the last time the OG Artorias was played was back before we got Dempsey, when it was part of the one-card combo with Connector.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we haven't played it for a while, so it's awesome to see you playing these cards, and that they're actually... And the theory behind them, too, because I think a lot of people get caught up in what's good, what's bad. They get kind of, like...
And there is
tunneled.
one more thing. There is one more thing.
No. Go ahead.
Why I play them? It's because when you go into grind games, you need to rely on the effect of Museum to special summon an Infernoble Knights that is in the spell trap monster zone. And after that, you're locked into warriors if you don't have shards on board. So you need warrior in extra deck. Like, if you want to really play, you need to... if your only line of play is going into SP Little Knights, you're going into a lot of troubles if they have a deck like Snake Eyes that can continue playing through the first effect of Little Knight.
I understand what you're saying. Okay, yeah. Because you don't want to link off your Charleses that you've made into to make like other non-warrior monsters. So like once you
just put words on my analysis.
Yeah, okay.
You need
You
to
don't
do
want to
what
waste a Charles to make like a, like a
exactly.
little knight or something like that.
Yeah,
Why waste Charles when you can just move up 2 warriors and make Cussin and spin 2? Okay.
yeah.
Well, awesome, my man. I appreciate you and good job on getting day 2 at YCS, Lillie. I think you're one of the unspoken, like, everyone always will kind of bring up like day 2 deck profiles, but I think you're like one of the unspoken ones that haven't like got a lot of like spotlight for being able and doing what you're doing.
Thanks,
So
man.
I do appreciate your time. If you guys do not know, it is like 3:30 a.m. So a huge shout out to my man here for staying up super late to give us the profile and to give us his explanations and his thought process with this. So please remember to comment down below and thank the man. And this is Charles from Team COG, and I think we'll wrap it up here.